Dracula. Not for this. This book doesn't have you as a sex symbol for once, so you can't act all sexy.
But blood!
Restrain yourself. Restrain yourself. That's right. Sit there and behave. We have a book review. The book review is about a book. Yes, that tends to happen. I don't think a book review is ever not about a book, right?
It could be.
It could be. But right now it's not. It's actually about a book. It's about a book called The Historian by
Elizabeth Kostova.
See how we did that together? That was like a thing. So this is actually interesting because a lot of books on vampires have sexualized them these days to the point of sparkling. But Vlad Tepes, who is Vlad the Impaler, who Dracula is based on, I'm sure his wife thought he was sexy, but a lot of other people found him terrifying. So I did like that this book goes back to the original terrifying him, and he is not seductive, and he is not after making women swoon and leaving sexy blood drops on their throat or whatever. That's not what this is about. So if you enjoy vampires and history and you don't enjoy sparkles, or even like if you're not really like seeing how vampires could be sexy or whatever, try this book. You will enjoy it. It is actually interesting because it's a newer book, but it's not written in the new vein, as in like it wasn't written in the late 1800s, but it sounds kind of like it was. It's even written like a lot of it is in journal style, like the original Dracula was. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So that's kind of interesting. I like that. It's about historians that are tracing these images of the Order of the Dragon symbol, except the symbol seems different in this book than the actual one, because the actual one has the dragon kind of strangling itself with its own tail, which I need to research more, but it seems like it's kind of like it's a George and the Dragon thing, with the dragon being slain. So I'm like, why do you want to be son of the dragon that's actually getting killed? I need to research that some more. But the Dracula dragon in the book was actually cool because it has a banner. It's got a flying dragon with the banner that says Dracula in its claws, which I think actually seems a lot cooler. If that actually exists, I can't find it online, so leave a comment below if you guys see that in like real history, because all I'm seeing is the dragon that is strangling itself with its own tail, and it doesn't fly with the Dracula banner in its claws. But I was like, that one's actually way cooler. So it's got these historians, and they're always like researching, and they find always this book that just has that image in the center on these like woodblock cuts, and the rest of it's blank. And every time someone finds this book, it gets Dracula's attention. It has to do with Dracula's descendants, but without ruining it, it actually goes back into the whole history of the real Vlad Dracula III and his fight against the Turks. And it's got some cool ideas in this book of how he could have infiltrated and defeated the Turks as a vampire, which I really liked, which we won't obviously get into. But what I thought was cool was that it actually showed the real history that Stoker only alluded to, and it actually mentions Stoker, so that's kind of cool. It has a lot of nods to the original Dracula book, and I think almost a Renfield prototype, but he's like a librarian in the modern times, and I didn't really like him nearly as much as I enjoy Renfield, but you see the nods in there, and so it's really neat, and it shows a lot of, I think, the survival, the tenacious survival skills of vampires, how they're very hard to kill. So, you know, when Stoker writes about Vlad being killed, I think it's comforting for him, but probably not actually viable if that such a thing were real. But this is just a whole lot of like talking vampires. But it's really interesting because though in the book, again, this isn't really a spoiler, Vlad's interaction with the Turks was shown as true, as how it really was, but it almost seemed like the narrator was more sympathetic toward the Turks. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'm actually on Dracula's side. I mean, he went hard. You know that song, You Can Go Hard or You Can Go Home, with like Jennifer Lopez and Mick Jagger, and like, okay, yeah, it was a thing. They actually did that. But like, I kind of agree, and Vlad went hard because he was trying to, as a ruler, protect his people. So he was like, you think I'm playing? I'm not, though, right? And I think that was actually the message he had to send, because of the fact that the rat wants to be held. Fine, I will hold the rat. It keeps falling. And, you know, rats are in Dracula and rats are in this book, so it works. It works. It's all happening for a reason. But so I feel that he actually, with the Turks trying to infiltrate and enforce their religion and enforce their way of life on his people in Wallachia, I feel he did what he felt like he had to do. I don't think he was a villain, but I don't think that making him a sex symbol. I think he was that to his wife, but I feel that making him some hot vampire in a movie is stripping down all that he was. He wanted to be frightening, and I think this book actually did that, and I really like that. I thought it was nice, and it was kind of sending the original message for the original Vlad Tepes that he wanted sent. Anything to add? Dracula / Gomez? He played such a good Vlad in the beginning of this, didn't he? I think he did, yes. Leave a like if you like his Vlad. We have a friend that was watching our videos, and she went, he does such a good Dracula accent. He really goes out for the channel. Like, he's such a good Dracula. And I was like, Gomez is just Russian. That's just his accent. As if she really thought he was, like, pulling out all the stops for YouTube. Like,
I would try if I could.
no, you just have to talk. You got it. So, do you have anything to add about I'm holding him and he still wants to fall. He just wants to go to sleep.
Maybe he's full on blood.
Blood.
I liked how the ancient history was mixed with the modern one, and there were like some, I guess, hints from the author that maybe some leaders of certain regimes can be seen as a kind of a vampire. Like, she didn't say it directly and outright, but there was hints that they would make scary vampires if they were allowed. Certain, like, modern rulers could be scarier than any vampire, so that was kind of interesting, like a social commentary of sorts.
Yeah, and I liked, for me, the social commentary was vilifying Vlad when he's actually being reasonable, because people don't like to be forced. But that's all I'm going to say. Okay. But yeah, the Turks were thinking they knew how things should be, and they wanted to spread the word to other countries and make them live as they live, and it's like, that's working for you, that's fine, what we're doing is working for us, right?
Yeah.
So screw off and don't, try to enforce your will and rule on us. So, yeah. I think if people have an idea for something that works better, like, what I like to do? I like to go, hey, I do this way, it works well for me. And sometimes people go, oh, that's a really good idea. And sometimes they're like, oh, I hate that. And then they do what they want to do. It's like sharing the word and expressing that this is how you find life easier for you is great, but then making people do it isn't so much. Which I don't think Vlad would have been that conversant about it, but that's just what I'm saying. The Turkish people could have been like, here's what we do, it'd be cool if you thought about trying it, but if you don't want to, it's okay.
Yeah, at the time the Turkish way honestly would be, our way is for you to surrender and then we all have peace.
Yeah, and I saw someone talking about that recently, without getting too much into the modern world stuff, that the only way to have, they're like, what do you want? We want peace. And they're like, okay, surrender, because that's the only way you're going to get it. And that's sad. So you have to fight for what you believe in, because otherwise you lose it. So yeah, they weren't trying to just share something they thought worked, and they want you to do what they want, and that's it, period. And the thing is, nobody in Transylvania or any of the other countries was hurting the Turks by doing what they wanted.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're doing ours over here, you're over here doing yours. I'm not infiltrating, I'm not coming over there to bother you, right? So why do you care what I do? And that's, again, I see where Vlad is. This is our business. We're doing our thing. It's not hurting you. It's not about you, right? It's not affecting your resources, but you still want to come and mess with us. And then they're like, he was so harsh. And it's like, what do you think? Like, if I try to come over there and mess with how you run your household and it doesn't affect me or mine whatsoever, and you're chilling and your people are chilling and, I think you should do it my way because Allah or whoever wants me to tell you to. I hate religious wars so much. Because I don't feel any deity wants you to go hurt people. And I say I don't feel because none of them are really talking to me about it. But I doubt any of them are really down for that. And I think if you want someone to do it your way, just talking about it and saying why it works for you would go a lot further than forcing them. But I have digressed. I'm just saying that Vlad should be given a break. That's what I'm saying. So, any other thoughts?
No, that was well stated.
Aw, sometimes it's like, you think somebody's going off topic, but they're not. They're just tying it into things other people know and understand. So yeah, this is a fun book to read. Love the old feel of it. And if you would like the concept of it, check it out. We will leave it as a Goodreads or Amazon or something in the description below so you can find it. Until next time, stay spooky, my friends.